Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Oh my god, they updated the popular tab? No way! It finally freaking happened, guys! Tide Pod Challenge, I can just sense the demonetization's coming from that. We're gonna try out the World Eater, which I actually did already have flagged in the Steam Workshop, which I believe is a Skyrim-based scenario, yes? Yes, Skyrim's main antagonist, Alduin, the giant evil dragon, the swallower of worlds and stuff. Let's see, evil dragon set upon destroying the world and its inhabitants. He got destroyed in Sovngarde. That was never heard from again. World Eater, swallower of worlds and stuff. Plot because it'd be confusing without it. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Who hasn't played Skyrim at this point anyway, right? Probably plenty of people. But anyway, basically he's like, screw it. I'm not going to go and take that from some little human peasants in Sovngarde with a dragonborn, Fosroda and all that. So he's like, screw it, we're going to Earth. That's the gist of the scenario. That's probably all you really need to know. Let's go ahead and jump in. It's a Nurax worm. Alduin is the name. World Eater awakens. You are Alduin, an evil... I'm even saying that right? I think I'm saying that right, but I don't really remember for sure. An evil dragon sent by the Divines to restart the world as we know it via devouring it. You can either do as you were made to do and destroy the world, or you can always choose a more sadistic route. I like sadistic. That sounds fun. If the world notices you too early on, you will be eradicated effortlessly. To avoid eradication, you should probably avoid symptoms that increase mortality rates. Really, what are the pitiful humans going to do without the power of the dragonborn? What are they going to do exactly? Tell me. Oh, I forgot. They didn't have guns in Skyrim, did they? Yeah, that would change the equation a little bit. All right, let's see. We could go for water, discover how to swim. We can learn how to fly much faster. That seems pretty promising. That apparently unlocks water too, even though I didn't have water 1. You learn how to dive and become more of an ocean predator. It's like one of those monsters from Pacific Rim, which apparently they're doing a sequel for, and I'm just like, why? No, for real though, why? Anyway. Air 2, your pelvic bone increases in density. My pelvis, ooh, allowing for better flight balance. Rats fear you in the urban regions. Mosquitoes don't dare bite you, but they do go spread fear to others. And the birds are scared of me. You transmit the fear. So wait, are we actually transmitting fear, or are we transmitting a disease? It sounds like fear. Hang on, if a few 100 million people were afraid of me, wouldn't they then instantly know that I'm there and eradicate me? Isn't that how that's supposed to work? I have no idea. Symptoms. Destruction 1. You start to cause petty damage to your environment. You're just all like, meh, I don't like that house over there. Squish. That's it. It's like a cat walking on the coffee table. And it's like, I'm just going to knock over this cup because screw that cup. Anyway, growth 1. You begin to grow. Big, strong dragon. He's a hungry boy, ain't he? Yeah. Cold and heat resistance. We have an understanding of hot and cold environments, apparently. Power 1. People begin to fear you. They are less likely to work on a cure because of that. Very severe, because people are afraid. Flight pattern. You gain the ability to fly long distances wherever. Sounds good to get to Greenland. Unknown origin. Nobody knows what you really are, except for all the people who've played Skyrim, of which there are tens, if not hundreds of millions. But nobody listens to them because they're just a bunch of violent gamers, right? That's it? Violence in video game? You know what I mean. Decreases future research speed. Stealth 1. Your location becomes much more difficult to pinpoint, making some research ineffective. And Arrogance 1. You become more destructive in wealthy cities, which I'm guessing is basically just drug resistance. So we have 2 versions of reducing. I guess this is genetic. Well, okay, I guess this is genetic hardening, and this must be a genetic reshuffle, or maybe the other way around. I'm not sure. Either way. We're going to focus mostly on the transmissions, though. Saudi Arabia isn't exactly a humid region, but that's a pretty darn good amount of infectivity. Even so, do we save up for more air? I guess we'll just go ahead and save up for more air, just so we have a better start off in our home country. That unlocks Air 3, which are bats. The bone marrow in your wings become hollow, allowing for easier flight speed and inefficiency. In other news, if somebody sneezes against you, you fold like a bunch of paper mache. I have no idea. All right, we're going to go for some water transmission stuff just to unlock that. Since we are starting to get into some neighboring countries, I'd like to increase the odds that we get on a boat and go to some islands. Not that it matters that much if we're playing as a Nurax worm. We actually need to get a bit of severity, to be honest. Not that there's many options for that currently. I guess we'll do some petty damage, and we'll grow a little bit. And then they switch around instead. Here's growth 2. Not next to growth 1. They swapped. You begin to grow as you consume bigger and bigger objects. You match the size of a school bus. Oh, I'm a tiny wheeled wagon. I didn't know I was so small. Destruction 2. Again, no severity or anything, actually. That's a little Little weird. We're going to go for power 1 because I want some severity because we're about to get a load of spread, and I want as much DNA out of that as is possible. All right, what else should we go for? Well, at this point, I think we can go for birds, since we actually are getting a pretty good spread around. I'd like to have some land transmission. We are spreading very rapidly in Saudi Arabia. The dragon of the desert is apparently terrifying everybody. Could go for some air, could go for some water. Not sure it matters, but we'll go... I would actually like some more severity. We're going to go for air 3. Screw it. Now, we have to be careful of them detecting me and trying to cure me immediately, but I'm hopeful that it's not actually as hard to deal with as was implied. I mean... Saudi Arabia started working on the cure, but I'm not dead yet, so that's something. Let's go for growth and destruction again. Now we've swapped one more time. Growth 3. You grow considerably as you consume bigger and bigger objects. Your size is now comparable with that of a small house. A little bit of lethality. Probably should avoid that for now. Destruction 3. You cause considerable amounts of damage to your environment, killing small numbers in the process. So this is where the lethality starts to ramp up. Got to be careful about that. We will go for flight pattern. And, you know, I'm not sure if we need things like cold resistance right now, frankly. Instead, I'm going to go for even more birds. This unlocks major infectivity, a fear factor combination, which greatly increases infectivity in all regions. I am willing to bet that the developer intended for this to be locked until you got all the insects, rodents, and birds. And if that is the case, then, hey, heads up, you may want to fix that. If not, cool, forget it. Alduin is just another parasitic dragon. Just another one of those. We have one of those every few years. It's no big deal, really. It's just like hurricane season, you know, giant world-consuming dragon season. It's fine. It's fine. Who's concerned, really? All right, do we need more infectivity? I mean, we will go for the major infectivity. This leads to insomnia, which is very severe, apparently. I guess we can go to the Caribbean next. We've been placed on a watch list. Watch out for that giant dragon. Guys, just be careful about that thing. It's not very nice. We will get some cold resistance at least. And do I want to go for mortality yet, or do I just want to go for other things, like insomnia? I mean, that's just going to increase the likelihood they start working on the cure, so... Antifreeze proteins. Ooh, that sounds kind of useful. Oh, I don't know. I think we're going to go for arrogance. Arrogance 2 is even more destructive in the wealthy cities. I think we'll pass on that for the time being. I'm going to store up some points, because I think we're actually infecting pretty much everything I care about. And I want to be able to go for the lethality very quickly all of a sudden. Let's go to the Philippines since they are the only nation that is holding out on me. And it looks to me like we are actually infecting these countries pretty darn quickly, so we can afford to start doing some other stuff. Do I want more arrogance, or do I want to go for cold transmission? I'm going to go for cold transmission, or resistances, sorry. Just, you know, bump that up a little bit. 11% cure progress, that's a little too much. Let's go for the growth and start ramping up some lethality. Destruction 4. You cause massive damage to your environment, killing huge amounts of people in the process. And by huge, we mean a small amount, but that's okay. Grab. And growth 4. You grow exponentially as you devour all in your path. Your size is now comparable with huge buildings. We're Godzilla. Destruction 5. You slaughter in the thousands as you rampage through densely crowded areas. Okay. Growth 5. You've grown to the point where it's impossible for you to swallow whole buildings. Sorry, where it is possible. Your size is now comparable to that of a city block. And finally, loathing. People hate you enough to rebel, but fear you enough to not dare. This is required for the World Eater trait. What is that? There it is. You have returned to your former glory. You can go and enslave the world, you can simply eat it, like you were supposed to. Be careful, though. Humans will rebel. Is this something you can actually... Disturbing reports of Alduin. Is this something you can actually rebel against? Because I don't think rebel is the right word here. I'm just guessing. Let's go ahead and send some extra dragons to Sweden, because fear is good and all that. Sweden's about to be fully infected. Let's just ramp up that lethality. World Eater. Now we can go for slaves. People accept their fate and hope not to be destroyed by joining your side, or unending hunger. With your size, you can start devouring whole cities. So I'm guessing this is going to go down one of those Transcendence victory types as the Nurax Worm, and this will go down the straight lethality route, which, considering how much lethality you get, it's going to ramp up pretty darn quickly. Truth be told, I think I'd rather go down the sadistic route. We're going to go down sadistic. Slaves, authority. Nobody dares challenge my authority for fear of being devoured. Okay, that's pretty lethal apparently. Slaves, they give themselves up willingly to the new age. Transcendence, humans now worship you as an immortal god. Transcendence, again, this is the same thing. Humans are forced to build monuments in your honor. There is a new society established, and priests begin to forcefully spread their religion of you. Perfect. A new Inquisition. I love it. Slaves 3, they commit horrendous acts in my name. Slaves 4, they allow themselves to be killed and consumed by you. Blood for the blood god and all that or something, I don't know. China's an anarchy. The world is not quite infected yet. We're missing what? Italy, Iceland, and Norway. Shocking. That's about to go away. Slaves, and then finally humanity enslavement. Through overwhelming tyrannical force, you have dominated all of humanity and now rule them all. One dragon to rule them all. The whole world's been infected, and then boom, we have now enslaved humanity. That's it. Despite humanity's best efforts, you have managed to dominate them and put them under tyrannical rule. At the same time, they stand no chance to escape your rule and will be serving you for the rest of eternity. Or rather, the rest of their eternity for their sad little lives, because now that I've had my fun, I'm just going to eat the entire planet as a snack. Right? That's it? Yes? I think so. Okay. 278 days, 86,000 points, 3 stars. Not bad. Real quick, just for the developer's perspective, why switch around the growth and the destructions? Well, why do that? Why stagger it? Just confusing, man. I don't think you gain anything. It doesn't matter, really, but I don't think you gain much of anything for it. I think it's a fine scenario. It probably could use a bit more Skyrim references, because truth be told, you don't actually have to know much of anything about Skyrim to appreciate that. Just, I'm a giant dragon that grows as I eat things and tries to destroy the world. That would have been fine. Really don't need to know much of anything about Skyrim in order to appreciate the scenario, which for some people that's going to be fine. For others, if it's going to be Skyrim themed, you kind of yearn for a little bit more references. But that's about it. Yeah, I'll say that I enjoyed that scenario, certainly. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.